Week 11 of the NFL season is upon us. Let's get straight into my predictions for the Sunday and Monday slate. We're going to start off with the Cleveland Browns versus the New Orleans Saints. Interesting game because I feel like it's the battle of the shit, right? Saints finally won a game after losing 7 straight. Cleveland coming off a bye week and the week before that losing badly to the Chargers. Such a difficult game to predict. I'm going back and forth, constantly fighting with myself. Fuck, do I want Cleveland? Fuck, do I want New Orleans? And I came to the conclusion that I am going with the Cleveland Browns. To put it simple, the New Orleans Saints blew their load last week. Coach rizzed up the players, and that's why the Saints won. The interim head coaching boost gave them that W. Cleveland, coming off a bye, I feel is more, connected, especially with Winston now as the full-time starter. A lot of the players are getting healthier, right? Chubb only gets healthier as the weeks go on. And overall, I still believe that this Cleveland team is more talented than this New Orleans team. Injury-wise for the Saints, everyone's still out. The receivers are all still banged up. Derek Carbage is still going to be throwing up his hospital balls. And overall, the defense is pretty banged up too. Cleveland is going to win. Cleveland is going to cover. I believe that Cleveland is the better team. I don't see how New Orleans is going to stop Cleveland's run game. Cleveland will establish the run game early. They're going to bully New Orleans in the trenches, and they are going to beat them. I got the Browns to cover, to win. I'm going to bet on this. I'll probably sprinkle a little some on it. I'm not going to bet a full unit on it, but I'll throw like a half a unit on it, something like that. Something to keep me entertained. Because, it's a tough game. I can totally see the Saints winning at home, but I feel that everyone's going to be riding with New Orleans because of last week's win, thinking it's a new chapter in the Saints' history. It's not. It was one game. Saints are going to blow their load, and that's why Cleveland wins, Cleveland covers. Next game. Indianapolis Colts versus the New York Jets. Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. This New York Jets team is abysmal. They are abysmal. It is embarrassing how bad they have played. It is embarrassing how bad they are. It's to the point where I'm starting to consider it might be time to either bench Rodgers or throw him to the curb, put in Tyrod Taylor, put in Jordan Travis. I don't know if he's still injured or not. But damn it, the Jets are so bad. On the flip side of things, Indianapolis Colts are just as shit. Sleepy Joe Flacco is getting benched. Again, I guess you could say. Anthony Richardson is coming back. He's the full-time starter now. At least for now. The Colts QB carousel is becoming insane. And I feel to a certain extent, it's hurting the motivation of not only Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco, but the team as a whole. They are confused. Who the fuck is playing quarterback for us? What the fuck is going on with this team? The decision-making of the coaching staff, the management, and the ownership is poor. They can't make a decision. You bench Richardson, which made sense. Sleepy Joe Flacco underperformed badly. 2 weeks he underperformed badly. And now you're going back to Richardson. I don't believe Anthony Richardson gives the Colts the best chance of winning. I still am under the impression that Sleepy Joe Flacco is better than Anthony Richardson. And for that reason, I am going with the Jets. Jets are going to win. Jets are going to cover. Now, I'm sure as you all know by now, I have a very biased perspective on this shit. I am not betting this game. I don't bet Jets games. And Jets are just so fucking bad. If you are laying 4 points on the Jets, then you must have balls of steel. I'm going to pray the Jets win. I'm going to pray the Jets cover. But if we're being honest with ourselves, Jets are going to get their asses handed to them. My official pick is Jets win, Jets cover. I can't believe I have to watch this and torture myself, but that's the life of being a Jets fan. Next game. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Detroit Lions. 14-point spread. Lions are favored by 14. I get it. Lions are at home. But 14 points is crazy. And you know what's even crazier? Not only am I picking the Lions to win. That's self-explanatory. They couldn't lose if they tried, right? Last week they literally tried to lose. And they still didn't lose. This Lions team is on another level, another timing. Super Bowl run is destined at this point, literally destined. Anything less of the Super Bowl is a failure for the Lions, in my humble opinion. Yeah, I'm going with the Lions to win. I'm going with the Lions to cover. To a certain extent, if T-Law was playing in this game, I would have been like, okay, maybe Jacksonville could keep it close, but I think Mac Jones is going to get killed. This Lions defense is going to bite his kneecap off. They're going to eat his ass, and they are going to absolutely kill the guy. Kill the guy. Mac Jones is trash. Lions are Lions. Lions are fucking Lions. They are that much better than the Jaguars, Mac Jones, this team as a whole. I don't even want to spend too much time on this game because it's self-explanatory what's going to happen in this game. Lions are going to kill the Jaguars. They're going to win. They're going to cover. Now, I am not betting on this game. I do not feel comfortable laying 14 points in general, not specifically on the Lions, but in general. 14 points is too many points, and I would never want to lay that amount. However, I see why the spread is that big. Who the fuck would take Jacksonville? And the funniest part is, I guarantee the splits are going to indicate that Lions are still getting all the money, all the public action. Because who the fuck wants to bet on a Mac Jones-led Jaguars team versus the hottest team in the league right now? By far hottest. They are hotter than Baltimore. They're hotter than Kansas City. They're hotter than everyone else. Because Kansas City gets fraud checked every other week. Baltimore has a couple of bad losses. Lions have just looked unstoppable. Again, like I said, even when they try to lose, they win. Who the fuck? Name one other team that throws 5 interceptions and still wins. Goes to show this team has a strong defense. They are resilient and they never give up. Dan Campbell is an absolute beast of a head coach, and he deserves head coach of the year without a doubt in my mind. The guy is an animal. This Lions team is a wagon. Lions win. Lions cover. I already spent too much time glazing the Lions for no fucking reason. They're playing the shit-ass Jaguars. We all know how this game is going to go. Next game. The Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. A lot of turmoil in Chicago. They fired the offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. And even I'm hearing reports that some players approached Coach Eberflus trying to convince him to bench Caleb. It's interesting, right? Because I personally think, I can't speak for Shane Waldron. I don't know. He wasn't the best offensive coordinator, but I think, no. Let me rephrase that. I know Caleb, LGBTQ1 is trash. He's so bad. Every time I watch clips of this guy, and I'm going to preface this by saying, yes, I get it. The offensive line is shit. Watch back these plays, especially against the Patriots last week. He just holds the ball all day long. He holds the ball for way too much time. He doesn't have this efficiency. He can't get rid of it when he needs to get rid of it. And a lot of the offensive problems should be blamed on him. Yes, offensive coordinator deserves a good portion of the blame, but I believe if the quarterback is not playing to the standard in which they need him to play to, no one can. No one can. The Bears itself is not a bad team. It's the offensive coordinator, the offensive play calling, Matt Eberflus being a dumbass, and Caleb just being trash, which is holding them back. The Packers are a great team. They're 6-3. We saw what they can do. Yes, they got beat up by the Lions, but at this point, who's not getting beat up by the Lions? What concerns me is this spread. A bit low, 5.5 points. It could go up, could go down. A little bit concerning, but who would actually bet on the Bears here? I wouldn't. I sure as hell wouldn't. Packers have a great D-line. Packers are going to bully the Bears. What is this Chicago O-line going to do versus Packers D-line? Packers defense, period. Caleb's going to be seeing ghosts out there. Packers are going to straight up bully this kid. They're going to beat him every which way. I have no doubt about that. 1,000% faith. Even if Jordan Love goes out there and does his best Brett Favre impersonation, throwing up interception after interception, it won't change a thing. Because I know this Packers defense is good enough to hold this Bears team to what? 3 points? 6 points? When was the last time Bears scored a touchdown? Yeah, like a fucking month ago? That's a bit of an overstatement, but still. It's going to be close to a month if they don't score here. So, yeah. Bears, you need a new quarterback, you need a new head coach, you need a whole new offensive coordinator. Maybe then you'll get better. But for now, Packers are going to beat the absolute dog shit out of the Bears. Packers are the better team every which way. Packers are going to win. Packers are going to cover. Next game, the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Miami Dolphins. This game is quite the barn burner, I should say, right? Las Vegas Raiders are in tank mode. They have no business winning this game. They have no desire to win this game. They are trying to get this number one overall pick so that they can control their own destiny and choose whatever quarterback they want, whether it be Shador Sanders, Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers, even Travis Hunter. But they don't need Travis Hunter. They need a quarterback. And quite frankly, I think Las Vegas Raiders going to be singing for a long time. I said, bust out my AP, perfect timing. Because that's how it's heading right now with the way this season's going. Miami Dolphins are back on track. They won a big game versus the Rams last week. They need to get the ball rolling, and I think they understand that it's do or die time for them in Miami. As long as Tua Tugboat Viagra doesn't throw himself headfirst into the defender's knees and get himself knocked out of the game, I think he should be fine. I'm a little bit worried about Max Crosby rushing his blind side. I could definitely see that being a huge problem. But again, I don't think one defensive lineman is going to shape the trajectory of this game. That's personally my humble opinion. Miami's the better team. Miami wants it more. Miami needs it more. Vegas are getting ready for the offseason. They're getting ready to clean house. They're getting ready to bring in a new quarterback, new offense, to lead them into a new era of Raiders football because the shit that's going on right now is not good. Raiders are just overall trash. I got the Dolphins to cover. I got the Dolphins to win. I'm not betting this game because I don't feel overly confident, and I feel like some bullshit can happen where Gardner Minshew, backdoor covers for the Raiders, or, he's going to fucking play his ass off and the Raiders are going to keep it close. Even though I do believe Miami should pull away and should beat them fairly easy. This year's Miami's team is a little bit shaky. They're a little bit meh. They have their moments. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins to win, Dolphins to cover. Next game, the Los Angeles Rams versus the New England Patriots. New England Patriots are coming off a big win versus the Bears, a big statement win. Strong defensive performance, great offensive performance. And even then, it feels like ever since Gerard Mayo called them out on their bullshit and they had a players-only meeting, this team has just been on an upwards trajectory. I don't know. It's a weird game here. Weird game. Very low spread. It's a little bit suspicious to a certain extent. And Rams have been shaky all year long. These last few games have shown me that Los Angeles struggles on offense when needed most. They have these moments where they just go into these lulls. Last week, they didn't even score a touchdown versus the Dolphins. Not even a touchdown. I don't know how well they're going to do against this Patriots team. I'm taking the Patriots to cover the spread. Now, I don't know how confident I feel in the Patriots winning this game, but I feel very confident that the Patriots are going to keep it close. Lose by 3, lose by 2, maybe even lose by 1. Right now, the spread is 4.5. I am more than willing to bet the Patriots plus 4.5. I will be betting Patriots plus 4.5. They got the home field advantage, and Rams have been inconsistent all year long, and there's no in between the Rams losing and blowing the Patriots out the water. None at all. I am taking the Patriots to cover. I am taking the Rams to win, though. My bet is going to be Patriots covering the spread. I am betting this one. I am confident in this one. I don't believe Patriots are better. I believe Patriots can play up to the Rams standards and play them close. That's why Patriots are going to cover. Next game. I would call this the prelude to the game of the week, the best 1 o'clock game by a mile. Baltimore Ravens versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Very intriguing game. Very intriguing game. We all know how big of a game this is, especially for rivalry reasons. This is the biggest rivalry in the NFL probably. Two powerhouse teams that always go at each other's throats and are always competing. This one should be fun. I'm going to start this one off by talking about the historic nature of these last few games with these two teams. if you look at the final score, the last, like, whatever it is, 4 or 5 games, it's all been low scoring, under. But this year, something feels different, completely different. And that is this Steelers offense. I don't need to explain to you how good the Ravens offense is. We all know how good this Ravens offense is. Steelers are the one that's the difference maker, especially with Danger Russ, aka Mr. Unlimited, slinging the rock the way he has. His deep ball looks perfect. The way this Steelers team has been playing just looks unbelievable. And you start comparing offenses. The Ravens' offense is better than the Steelers' offense, but not as big of a margin as it is in most years. Now you flip to the defensive side of the ball, and that's where I think the big discrepancy lies between these two teams. The Steelers' defense is really, really good. We know this by now. It's been really good. It stays really, really good. The Ravens' defense is the difference maker. They are not good this year. They're very mid and have had bad moments constantly. That separation is the difference. The Steelers are going to cover the spread. The Steelers are going to win this game. I am confident in it. I am going to bet the Steelers to cover and to win. Not because they're necessarily the better team. One, I feel they are playing a lot better these last few weeks than the Ravens. And two, Steelers, I believe, are the most dangerous team in the AFC North. I believe they're going to win this division, and I believe they can make a strong run in January. If I'm anyone not named Kansas City, I am terrified to see Pittsburgh in the playoffs. That's fact. This Steelers team is different. Their run game is effective. Their passing game with Mr. Unlimited is becoming a lot more effective. And that's exactly why I believe the Steelers are going to win this game. Not that the Ravens are bad. The Ravens are really good. We know how good the Ravens are. But they constantly flirt with losses. Constantly. At least last week they did. They really should have lost last week's game. They have an extended break that will give them the advantage, especially because Steelers had a hard battle on Sunday. But that doesn't change anything, man. It does not change anything. I believe Steelers will shut down Baltimore's run. They'll limit Lamar. And on the flip side, this Ravens defense will not be able to stop Mr. Unlimited. They will not be able to stop the run game with Najee and Warren. I got Steelers to win, Steelers cover, and the over. That's my picks for these games. For that game, I should say. You know, the over one is interesting. I'm not a big over-under guy, but I feel confident enough in the over because it's a very high over-under, as you guys can see there. And in most cases, you would expect it to be lower, considering how low scoring these games typically are. That's why I'm going over. Steelers, there's not really much of an inclination. Spread is pretty even, I would say. It's where you should expect it to be. But something about this Steelers team feels special. I'm going with the Steelers to cover. I'm going with the Steelers to win. And I'm going with the over. Next game. Minnesota versus Tennessee in a bit of a trapster. I'll call it that. Tennessee is absolute garbage. I hate betting on this team, and they cause so much unnecessary stress. It's insane. This is the first team in which I was upset about pushing. First team. Minnesota, though, plays such a weird style of ball, especially these last 2 weeks. It almost seems like they've continuously, and I mean continuously, underperformed week in, week out. You know, last week they got tested heavy by the Jaguars. And it wasn't that Mac Jones was cooking them up and shit like that. The defense for Minnesota played very, very well. The difference was the offense. Sam Darnold is not playing as well as he started in the beginning of the season. It's almost like he's regressing to a certain extent. But I cannot bet on Tennessee. If I had my normal brain, and I would say my official pick, I could say it right now, is going to be Tennessee to cover, Minnesota to win. I would bet Tennessee here. But the stress that the Titans have caused me this year, starting from that bullshit in week 1 with the Bears to that fucking Patriots game where they pushed, week in, week out, I can't stress enough how much I hate this Titans team. They stress me out too much. It pisses me off to watch them. It pisses me off to bet them. And I cannot bring myself. I literally cannot bring myself to bet them in this position. I believe they will cover. I believe Minnesota will win. But it'll have to be without my money on Tennessee because Tennessee is a shit show. And Minnesota is also starting to regress, even though they're 7-2. A big win here could be huge for them, put them back on the right track. But as of right now, I don't know how I feel about Minnesota as 6-point favorites. It's too much. Tennessee will cover. Minnesota will win. That's my official pick for that game. I wish I could bet it, but Tennessee has told me time and time again, stop betting on them. Next game, a very underrated game. A game that I feel is not getting nearly enough attention as it should. The Atlanta Falcons versus the Denver Broncos. Atlanta Falcons are in an interesting part of their season. They lost to New Orleans last week. And, it was a tough L. And I still believe that Atlanta is the best team in the NFC South. I think they'll win the division no matter what. However, I am under the impression that Atlanta is going to go into this midseason lull where they're going to slow down a bit, lose a few games, and, kind of fool people into thinking they're mid. And then towards the end of the season, they're going to pick up steam and go into the playoffs strong. That's what I think. Broncos, on the other side, are coming off such a bad L. This was such a bad L on the part of the Broncos. They should have beat the Chiefs. They flat out outplayed the Chiefs every which way. This Broncos defense is seriously good. Seriously good. With that being said, like I just explained to you why I believe Atlanta's entering this midseason lull point, I'm fairly confident that the Denver Broncos are going to win this game. They are the better team in the sense that their defense is a lot stronger than Atlanta's. Their offense is not as good, but the discrepancy between the defenses is too big. Broncos defense is going to be the reason why not only they're going to be in this game, but they're going to be in every game. This defense is unbelievable. Knicks is starting to play better and better every single week, and that's exactly why Broncos will win this game. They need vengeance for the horrible L they suffered last week. And yes, it could still be on their mind, and Atlanta could take advantage of that. But I think Sean Payton's a great coach. He's going to humble his team. He's going to ensure that they are ready for this game. And the Denver Broncos are going to win and cover the spread. I am very confident in this Broncos team. I am going to bet on them. And I know they are going to beat the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta is entering a weird part of their season. I can smell it in the air. Next game, the Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. To put it simply, Geno, I feel, is washed. This is not the same Geno of years prior. San Francisco is starting to get back on track, I should say, while Seattle just continues to flip-flop with mediocrity. Brock Purdy playing lights out last game. And even if he himself is not the superstar that he could be, he has his weapons back. McCaffrey's back. Kittle's better than ever. Juwan Jennings is playing lights out. Deebo Samuel, even though he should be suspended for this game, is going to be on this team, still helping out as much as they can. I don't believe Seattle's defense will be able to handle San Francisco's offense. It's going to be a high-scoring game, both potent offenses, but overall, I believe San Fran is the better team defensively, offensively, every which way. Unless Jake Moody is going to shit himself again and cost them the game, I am truly under the impression that San Francisco is going to win and cover in this. Relatively confident. I'm not betting it. I don't like to bet big spreads, especially for a team like San Francisco, which I feel is a bit shaky. But in this case, I can totally see San Francisco beating the absolute dog shit out of the Seattle Seahawks. You know, Geno Smith is not as good as we all not thought, but he's just washed. He's starting to become washed. It's time to write him off. I wrote him off. I hope he doesn't write back, but he might write back. San Fran wins. San Fran covers. I'm not betting it, though. I don't feel overly confident. My official pick, though, is for San Fran to win, San Fran to cover. They should handle business here pretty easy. Seattle doesn't usually pose a big threat for them. Next game, the game of the week, the true game of the week, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. Whoa, what a big game, what a big game, what a big game. Chiefs are undefeated. And I'll start this off by saying, if they win this game, whether it be by their own skill and talent, whether it be by their black magic or whatever the hell, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and that entire Chiefs team sold their souls. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. They sold their soul to Taylor. Taylor's the devil, and that's how they did it. Think about it. Think about it. Taylor's the devil, and they sold their soul to Taylor. The way they've been playing is so bad. They do not deserve to be 9-0. Week in and week out, they scrape by somehow, some way. The Bills, on the other hand, in the games that they win, and they win big. They put their foot on the other team's neck. They kill them every which way possible. Bills are favored in this game. And historically speaking, the Bills actually have more regular season success against the Chiefs, right? If you look at the playoffs, Chiefs dominate the Bills in the playoffs. Bills have not beat the Chiefs once in the playoffs. In the regular season, the Bills tend to beat the Chiefs more often than they lose. Actually, last year, if I'm not mistaken, Bills beat the Chiefs in a time where they really, really needed to win to pick up steam to go on the run that they went on. I'm going with the Bills, man. I'm going with the Bills. The Chiefs cannot continue to play this dangerous game of barely beating their teams. They barely beat the Broncos last week. They should have lost. Super lucky blocked field goal. Not that it was lucky that it was blocked, but the situation in and of itself is lucky. Bills have been playing lights out. I am a tad bit worried how banged up the Bills are. I don't think Coleman's playing. I think Kincaid is hurt. A lot of this Bills team is banged up. But with the way the Chiefs' offense has been in recent weeks, I don't see how they keep up with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to kill these motherfuckers by himself. That's why I'm going with the Bills. I believe the Bills will win. I believe the Bills will cover. I am betting this game. I'm not going to bet it heavily because, Chiefs are... You don't want to bet against the Chiefs. Chiefs are like the new Patriots, right? You don't want to bet against them. You don't want to bet against Mahomes. Maybe I'm going to bet Bills pregame and get them live if KC scores an early touchdown. Because I truly believe this game is going to be like a 3-point game. It's going to be very close, back and forth game, like it always is between these two teams. But Bills are going to pull it out on top, give the Chiefs their first L. I'm praying on it, and hopefully the devil doesn't steal my soul because I chose the Bills over the Chiefs. Bills cover, Bills win. I'm betting it. It's my official pick. Sunday Night Football, the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Chargers. And I'm going to kick this one off by explaining how much of a trap spread this is. I don't see why or how the Chargers are favored in this game. I get it. They're 6-3. I get it. Their defense is nice. Herbert's been playing well. But did you see that Bengals game last week? Truly, did you see how well the Bengals played? I would be taking the Bengals all day long. To a certain extent, I believe that the Bengals should win. For the much of this week, I thought the Bengals would win. And the more I study this line and the more I see how the money is coming in, it's indicating to me that Vegas is willing to back the Chargers here. Everyone's betting on the Bengals. Everyone's riding the Bengals. And that's why I'm going with the Chargers. I believe Sunday night, the bright lights, it's going to be a low-scoring defensive game where the Chargers defense controls the momentum and doesn't allow Burrow and Chase to get going. John Harbaugh is an absolute... did I say John Harbaugh? Jim Harbaugh, my bad. Jim Harbaugh is a beast of a coach. Best thing to happen to the Chargers. They finally have some sort of competence on this team. Herbert's going to cook. They're going to run the game by running the ball, and the defense is going to do its thing. Bengals are nice. Burrow is nice, but it's a two-man show with Burrow and Chase, and Chargers are going to make sure to shut that shit down pretty fucking fast. That's why I'm going with the Chargers to win, Chargers to cover, and I am betting on it officially. Monday Night Football. The Houston Texans taking on the Dallas Cowgirls, and that's it. They've become the Dallas Cowgirls. This team is completely imploding. Jerry is running his mouth way too much. Everybody hates everybody, and Cooper Rush flat out sucks. Texans are coming off such a bad L to the Lions, such a bad L, that they need to bounce back. It's to the point where they're losing so much now. This would be 3 in a row if they lose this one. The division in which they thought they had in the bag is slowly starting to slip away from them, and they can't let that happen. CJ Stroud is going to be mad. D'Amico is going to be mad. This team overall is going to be mad, and they are going to pound the Cowgirls so hard, and that is exactly why Houston Texans will win this game and will cover the spread. I believe Texans are the flat-out better team. Cowboy season is over. They may as well start tanking and get ready to either draft a QB, draft Travis Hunter, or draft a stud edge rusher, because the way they've been playing right now, they are going nowhere. Cooper Rush is not the answer. Jerry is running his mouth too much. CD hates this team. Everything about this team is falling into pieces. Texans still can save their season. Cowboy season is too far from being saved. That's why I believe Texans win, Texans cover. I'm not betting it though. I don't like this game. Too big of a spread, and it's weird. It's a weird game. Both of these teams are very fraudulent, and I want nothing to do with it. And that is my official predictions for Week 11 of the NFL season.